Hi, and welcome to another Type with me. In today's video, I want to talk about Radash, functional utility library that can really help you, maybe as a replacement for lodash. So let's go and take a look into Radash. So if you go to npm and you are going to look up Radash, you will see that it's a functional utility library, modern, simple, typed, powerful, and that it looks a little bit like lodash, right? But the last published date is 3 days ago, and if we go to lodash, you will see that it's been published 2 years ago. Not a lot of activity is happening on there, right? But it's still being used very much in a lot of projects. It also has, lodash has TypeScript support. It has TypeScript declarations, right? But Radash is by default TypeScript, right? It's been written within TypeScript, and it's really good of a library, as in sense of testing and maintainability, right? So if you think of going to a new library or exploring a new library, well, Radash will be a good fit. Also within this video, I want to go through certain functions of Radash to show you what the power of it would be and how you could use this utility library within your own project. So one of the functions that I want to show you first is the range function of Radash. So if I'm going to import range, I can start using it there. It's easy to understand, and we can very easily loop over it, and we can of course do a console.log. So if I now do deno run index.ts, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's been printed out. Another cool feature would be the list feature to build out lists, numeric lists, right? You have your 25, 100, and then of course you have 25 again. If I save this, you'll see that we are building a list. 25, 50, 75, 100. If I now do this, right, you'll see that he will multiply everything, right, which is normal. If I say here I want to have from 25 towards 200, I guess you will see that my list is going to grow, because of course 200 multiplied by 2 is 400, right? Again, very cool to play around with. Also, Radash has great documentation. So one function that I also think is really great to know is the retry. So run an async function retrying if it fails is something that could be very helpful if you have an API call and you need to get a function back and it fails. You can just retry it again. You have some kind of a delay, for example, that you say, okay, wait 1 second or 1 minute to do a retry on that. And in my regard, I think for certain ways this could be a very useful feature. Another function that is very useful is counting. So normally you would do it you would do something like this, right? You would see if you have India and if you have Italy, and then how you can divide all of this, right? To really do a console.log India count and Italy count. But these for loops and this if, right, it's not that kind of nice to write it like that. So it would be nice to have some kind of an utility, right? And you have here counting, for example. And of course, this should be country. So we are using users, and then we say t.country, and then of course we can again print out what it should be. The only thing that you then need to know is that you need to do something like this, right? Console.log, and we need to print out t.country. Gonna save that. Then you have your India, Italy, India, right? What you then could do is indeed put something like an if else in here to count it then into your India count or Italy count. Then you have utility classes to see if something is an array or something is from another value, like for example, is it date, or is empty, or is equal, or is float, or is function, or is int, or is number, or is an object, or is a primitive, or is a string, or is a symbol. So you have a lot of typed functions to check if something is of a certain type, right? So another cool feature could be camel, and then we do camel, green fish, blue fish. If I save this and I'm going to run this, of course I need to do console.log, right? And then run it again. And then you see green fish, blue fish. He removes the spaces and he makes it camel, right? Green fish, blue fish, red fish. So if I do now red fish, he will do it like this, right? So it's also nice. A lot of string manipulation is in Radash as well. So getting the smallest value out of an array, you can have also the maximum or the largest item from an array. You have an array, and then you have here a an array function where you define which one you want to pick out of it. So again, a lot of great functionality that's in there, right? Just go to the documentation, read it, and see if it's a good fit for you. But in my opinion, it's a really nice library to dive deep into. So thank you very much for watching, and I see you next time with another great video on Type with Me.